Go ahead, please.
Okay. Waheguru Ji Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Fateh. I think like most of you have received the latest update information from that Hardev has shared. So next 2-3 weeks, we're going to have some guest speakers to share their views. Today we have Dr. Chandrasekhar. We will call him just Shekhar to make life easy for all of us. And I have had the pleasure of knowing him because of his sister, who is Dr. Kesan. She is heading Space Kids in India. And her students are all children who are basically 17, 18, 19-year-old high school kids. They won the international award for launching the lightest satellite, I believe, in the world, which was 64 grams.
Yes.
And she has been mentoring hundreds of kids all across the world, including India, very active in satellite communication and whatnot. So, and then when I was talking to her over the last few years, then she mentioned, hey, you should talk to my brother, you know. So that's how when I get to meet with Dr. Shekhar and had the pleasure, real pleasure of spending time and understanding and discussing few things. And he was very kind to share his journey of some of the experiences that he's had in life. And he is here to share with us. I told him it's a very interactive discussion, a small group. And we've been doing it for about a year and a half, maybe two, somewhere there. And we are here to listen to you and see, because it's one thing to read the scriptures and understand what they're saying, but it helps to add additional trust and faith when you meet with people who have had direct experience. And that's what we are all here to learn from you. So the audience is all yours, and may God bless, and we all enjoy your presence and company.
Good, very good morning, everybody. My experience, I have been having a blessed life, I should say. My life has been blessed, but also it has been very intricate in terms of the life experiences that I've heard. Few of them have been mind-boggling. I have been interested in science and technology, and I'm a scientist by education. I've done my bachelor's in chemical engineering, master's in chemistry, and PhD in marine materials and corrosion. But now I don't use any of that, and I'm working in IT as a consultant. So there you go in terms of my educational experiences. But life has given me a ton of experience. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in terms of what experiences are worth even mentioning or bringing about for topic of discussion here. The first experiences, there are certain thought processes that have come to me, have materialized right away, right there, right then. There are certain processes that have come to me that have never come true. There are few of them have come to me, but then it has taken years to materialize. So this has been a really puzzling thought process. Why does some thoughts become true and some thoughts never come true? Some thoughts come true immediately in terms of the space and time phenomenon. One of the example in my synopsis that I've given was the first one. It is about this was about 8 years old. When I was about 8 years old, I had no idea. I was taking a trip to one of the nearby places. That was an island. As I was traveling in a train, the train stopped at one particular junction near a seashore, and a ship had come on shore. So they had no way of doing anything but to dismantle the entire ship. I was completely fascinated with the work that was going on, sitting in the train, thinking that how nice the job is. It is on the ocean. They can swim whenever they want to swim, and they can work whenever. I was a kid. I didn't know what they were doing. They're dismantling something. It was all such a nice thought. I thought I should get back to a job, or when I grow up, I want to be working in this place, doing things like that. 23, when I was 23 or 24, after my graduation, you wouldn't believe it, exactly the same place I went to work. There was no other place. I tried all over India, even though I had a rank in my school, I did not get a job, but I got a job closer to my home at the same place where I had envisioned working when I was 8 years old. I have no way of explaining why I was given that particular chance or opportunity. Then I wanted to come to America. I did not have money. And I said, if the big guy, if I can call him the big guy, a big fellow, if he has to provide me. And I wrote my GRE in TOEFL. First mission came and none of them gave me the financial assistance. Then I had known one of my friend who had a contact with the professor here. So I also wrote to the telling him, I have done my GRE, TOEFL, I have published these many papers, can I do PhD under you? And that is how I ended up with the University of Delaware. But the financial assistance came one moment I declared, whoever has been the same role that I was doing, they said like 1.5 years of arrears will be given to the people who have been working in that particular role. And that came to 27,000 rupees in those days. That gave me the flight ticket and foreign exchange. So I landed up in America. I wouldn't have come otherwise. So long story short, I had a dream of working in a place. Many years later, that came true. I had a vision of going to America without even having a money. That was met about 1.5 years later. I come to America. This place, what happened was I didn't have any vehicle. I had to use the public transport, or the university had a shuttle service that I was using. One fine winter morning, I took the shuttle. It was not morning, it was in the afternoon. I took the shuttle. I was coming to the main campus to do engineering courses. As I was coming into the main campus, there was an ice storm. I didn't know what ice storm was because I was from India. As soon as I landed at main campus, the bus guy said like, okay, you've come to a place, get down and go to classes wherever you need to go. I got down, my life wasn't going anywhere because I had a Moccasino shoe from Bata from India that had absolutely no buttons. I put my foot down, my leg was going all over the place. I was really, really angry at the big fellow. I called him all sorts of names that you cannot even fathom. Left, right, center, I called every damn name. I looked up. I was little on the edge of crying, but then I had the anger in me as well. So it was kind of a desperate situation. So I said, if I have to believe in you, you have to stop a car and the door has to open. No way in hell I'm going to even think of you ever again if you don't make this happen. This was a prayer, believe me. I was in an anguish. I threw in that prayer. No sooner the thought came, a car stopped, a door opened. I flung myself inside the car. As soon as I get into the car, the driver looked at me and he said, who are you? I said, like, you stop the car, you open the door, you tell me whom I want to be. Still, I was still in the rage. I wasn't having that pleasing manner that I usually show people. I was really angry and I told him, like, whom do you want me to be? You were the Then he said, oh my God, I was looking from the backside, you resembled my son. That is the reason I opened the door. Now you have come in. I don't know what to do. Where do you want to go? I told him my friend lives about 2.5 miles here. Greatest help I can, ask for. My life is not going anywhere at this juncture. So he said, I like my son. And did you see a similar built guy come in the car? I told him, yeah, there was one person, because I have a keen observation. That is something I always do. I looked at the guy. I told him, Immediately the driver said, that idiot, I wanted him to come here. Why did he get dropped that particular thing? I will go pick him up. I will drop you. So the long story short in this case is, a thought comes, no matter what circumstances that I was in, what all curse words that I used, the big fellow was kind enough to give me a ride at that particular moment of need. What I asked for, I got. That is a long story short.
Sekar, quick question.
Sure.
Do you know who the driver was? Did he say anything about?
I was an idiot. I'm still an idiot. I should have collected all the information. Now looking back, these are moments we miss. We miss the opportunity. I missed it. Then
Okay.
there was third incident. I had saved up $1,500 to buy a car. And this particular car, I was looking for, I was in the satellite campus, not many choices were there. So my friend said, don't worry about it. I am in the main campus. Give me the money. I'll get you a car and all that. I gave him the money. He took the money. A 2 month or two later, he tells me, I'm going to finish this semester and I'm going to go to India. I will come back and buy you a better car. By then I would have gotten a job. And don't worry about 1,500. I'll get you a better car than what you want. Can I take the money and go to India? What other choice do I have? If I told him no, I would miss the friendship. If I would have said no, he would have still taken the money and we would have parted ways and I would have never seen the money. So I pretended to be magnanimous on that situation. And I told him, don't worry, take the money, go to India, come back, get a job. I'm cool with it. So he went to India. But that particular 2 months when he was in India, it rained almost every day in Lewis. And I had a bicycle to go to campus that was about 3 miles from my residence. Every day I was getting drenched. And it was very cold, miserable. One fine evening, I came home. Again, literally, why me? Why now? Why always me? These type of questions come to many people many times. Same questions came to me too. I said, like, why me? Why did you select me to be tested with these type of situation? The only way my friend would come back to America would be 2 months later. Even if he gets a job, he has to save up the money. I was looking at least 6 months in terms of time frame to get a car. And my life cannot go like this, getting drenched every day like this. So if I have to believe in you, somebody has to knock the door and give me a car. There is no other choice. No sooner the thought came, a knock on the door was heard. I went and opened the door. There was a Japanese postdoc standing there. His name was Toshi Nahata. He said, hey, Chandra, I'm going to give you my car. I said, like, what? He said, like, yeah, I'm going to give you, I chose you to give the car in this campus. I told him that you had advertised for $450. At that particular moment, my bank balance was $318. There is no way I can buy a $450 car. And he was leaving pretty soon to Japan. I did not know all the details, but he told me, I'm going to give it to you for $300. I was shocked. Why? Then I asked him, you had advertised it for $450. Anybody who does a trade wants to make most money for the product rather than undersell it. I asked him, is there a problem with your car? He said, like, no, there is no problem with my car. My car is running really good. But I have got a very good postdoc position in Japan, and I want to do something good for somebody here, and I chose you. Go figure. How did this happen? I was shocked again, literally in tears. Literally in tears. Because it is often the case that we tend to think we are talking in an isolation, nobody is hearing it, but the big fellow hears it. That is a long story short in a way. So be careful, my dear friends. When you make any statements, don't think nobody is hearing it. The big fellow is definitely hearing it. That much I'm convinced. because these are not the only incidents that I have in my life. I have so many. If I keep on talking about it, the 1 hour is not enough for me, because there are one after another, after another, after another. I have been given these many choices, these many opportunities. Otherwise, I would have been an idiot. I would have always thought I am suffering in silence and nobody is watching over for me. Nobody is taking care of me. The pitiful mentality would set in. You tend to think, oh, I am the guinea pig. The big fellow always tests me, and I have not been given the choices of the world. Somebody has become a billionaire, whereas I'm just an ordinary human being going through the day-to-day struggles of life. No, you've been given a blessing each time. All you need to do is you need to know what to ask for, how to ask for, and when it will come true, when it will not come true. To some extent, I practice these willingly nowadays. You know, willingly, even when I drive, I put in a prayer and say, this traffic lights are not even synchronized, but I know I need to get from point A to point B. Let all be green when I drive. You would be amazed. Every damn light will turn green for me. So
Wow, incredible.
I feel like a prime minister driving in India, even though my car is not Rolls Royce or BMW or Mercedes, but the soul has been given that much of a preference. I'm connected with the big guy. I feel, what more do I need? I don't need anything. I don't need any acknowledgement. I am very happy the way I am. But that is what I wanted to share to begin with. Second, the question still remains, why certain prayers came true right away, right there, in terms of my prayer materializing at that instant, at that space. How does the big fellow knows that? How does the big fellow knows that this poor soul is crying for my help? I will go directly to him and help him what he wanted in whatever way he wanted it, right there, right then. You know, that question lingered for more than 35 to 40 years in my thought process. And one fine night, one of the nights I slept, it was a deep sleep, I should say. I went to bed early. I had a nice sleep, but as usual, I was woken up, or I was up about, let's say, 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and all sorts of racy thoughts come to your mind. Why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not a billionaire? Why these things don't happen to me? Why not that? Why not? All sorts of sundry human questions that every human has in terms of their own insecurities and, everything that they want to happen right away, right now, kind of a thought process. I couldn't go back to sleep. I was trying, I was tossing, I was turning. At one particular point, a thought came to me which said, your thought and your sleep, or your thought and your breath are related. Your breathing, when you are really angry, your breathing becomes shallow. When you are really happy, contented, calm, quiet, meditative, your breath is really, really deep and very calm. So since I know that, I thought, why not try that mechanically? All I could do was control the breath, take as deep a breath that I can possibly do, and then let the breath go away from me or out of my nostrils really slow. So this is what I started practicing. About 4 or 5 breaths into it, I was knocked off. Even today, any medical patient, somebody tells me I cannot fall asleep, this is a prescription that I tell them. I'm not a medical doctor. I have no way of prescribing anything to anybody. But this particular technique, I tell them, if your lungs are good, you don't have any problem with the lungs, all you need to do is take the deepest breath that you can possibly hold on to and let the breath go very, very, very slow. Do that 2 or 3 times, you'll be knocked off and you will sleep like a baby and you wouldn't need any medication. And this is a natural phenomenon. Try it. But when I did it, there was a difference. what happened? There was a kind of a shock that went in my spine. A spinal cord had a huge current wave, a shock wave, and I was lifted out of the body and into some space. I didn't know I was lifted out of the body, I should say. I had the consciousness, let me put it that way, because I don't want to mislead the group. I had no visual experience of my body, my soul leaving the body, those type of things. I had no idea. But I was floating in the space, that much I knew. It was very dark, way, way up. I looked up, there were few stars that were shining in the sky. That was not unusual, because when you go outside the home, you see those stars shining at night also. But halfway through, there was a voice that accompanied that particular thing also. I asked, where am I? As soon as I said, there was a very, very angry, impatient voice that came along. He said, like, you have been asking this question for those many years. Now you figure it out where you are. I said, like, I don't know. He said, like, yeah, you don't know. That's why I'm asking you. You figure it out where you are. I said, like, what do I have to do? He said, look down. I looked down. When I looked down, I saw sun was in a form of almost like a tennis ball size. The sun was shining tennis ball size. I looked around. I see the planets. Jupiter was around because it was big. I could see it. I said, like, I am in interstellar. I'm somewhere in the sky, way up in the interstellar space. Then that particular voice said, yeah, you are. Now you're in the interstellar space. Tell me what the time is. He started asking me the question, because that was the question I was asking. What is the time now? He said, like, I've lost the frame of reference. If I sit in the earth, earth goes around sun, you have days, nights, 24 hours, 365 days. The clocks are meaningful. Now I'm in an interstellar space. There is the clock for me. Sun is shining 365 days there. It doesn't rise, it doesn't fall, it doesn't set. It's there all the time. When it is all the time, what is it shining? Where is the time factor there? I've lost the time sense. I was like, yep, this is my area, buddy. I am the big guy here. There is no time for me. Everything is instantaneous. And next question was, okay, you've answered my time question. What about the space? I can answer the space. He said, look at it. This is all my body. This is all my, I asked him, this is all your body? That means you include the galaxies, the stars, everything, and the Milky Way, everything is your body? He said, like, yep, that's all my body. In a body, if you can imagine that, let's individually look at each of our body. You look at your leg, you look at your thumb. If that resides in one galaxy and your head remains in another galaxy, how humongous you would be. And where is the time difference here? If you reach from your head galaxy to toe galaxy, you can touch it in no time because it's your body, right? So the time factor has gone out of the window. The space factor has gone out of the window. He said, this is the reason I can materialize, I can reach anybody, anytime, instantaneously. How beautiful it is. I looked at it. Oh my God, it makes a huge difference. I stopped asking questions about space and time. Now I know the big guy is so humongous, but he doesn't have a shape, right? Because if you put all the galaxies, all the stars, what shape do you get? You don't get to see Sekar, you don't get to see Paul in terms of the shape, but then that is what makes it all the more powerful, right? And I asked him, okay, this is Sekar, you have explained. Where do I fit in the whole schema? You are so huge. I'm so little. He said, you're almost like a cell in my body. Almost, because even if he says cell, you give a dimension to it, right? You are not even a cell. You are less than a cell because his dimension is so humongous. You become almost, it's so hard to even fathom yourself as meaningful as a size in his body. And if you are in his body, any noise that you make, he hears it. It's almost like mosquito coming and biting you in one particular part of the body. You know you've been stung. Where you've been stung, you know where to reach. This is very similar. Somebody giving him all the curse words. It's almost like a mosquito biting him, right? I can't think of anything else. Why is this mosquito coming and biting me and making all this noise? It's like, don't bother, buddy. I'm here. I will supply you whatever you want. What you want, a car? No big deal. I can make that car happen to you for some reason, In my case, that guy missed his son. He thought, I am his son. A car stopped, a door opened. It is all possible in his dream. In his thought process, it is all possible. Everything is possible. Look at it. You think you are very powerful. You can do everything in your thing. But look at one mustache, one string of hair in your mustache. Can you move that alone? You cannot. You are so useless. And he is so powerful. He can do all the things that you want, in spite of you being arrogant, you being, you tend to think, not in the sense I used to think, I knew this, I know science, I'm a scientist, I can solve this problem. All those I can do's have gone out of the window. I don't do a shit. I can't do anything. Compared to the scale and the size that the big fellow had shown me who he was. And next question came to me. I asked him these questions. Okay, now you have shown me all this. I know I'm useless. I know I don't fit into any of the things. I can't do anything significant when compared to you. Anything that I claim to say significant going back to earth is meaningless. Why don't you just take me and merge me into you and be done with my misery? I don't want to go back because this is useless, right? You call me, you show me all this, you're angry, and I'm upset now. You're going to put me back in a place where I don't contribute anything. I don't do anything. Anything that I do is meaningless compared to the size and scale that he had shown in terms of his body and his capability and his awareness. Where do I fit in all this? Please don't send me back. This was a request. He said no. That is not the reason why I brought you here. There are more things that I want to show you. You will have to take a next birth, and you will see this in terms of light. Meaning, I am going through the whole galaxy in terms of light. This is my whole existence. My body will be shown to you in terms of complete light awareness. You will see that. And don't you want to see that? That was the next question he was asking. What the heck am I supposed to say? If I get merged with him, I'm useless. If I get to go to earth, at least there is a purpose in my living, because he is going to take me through another experience that I'm so excited about. So at least, okay, send me back. There is no other choice. Looking at both the choices A and B, I looked at it as like, okay, B is a little better compared to A. It's not all bad. I know now what to ask. You are always there, and you promise me that you will show me in my next life in terms of a light phenomenon. So let me go get this life quickly done with and get ready for the next life. Now what happens is the fun comes in. The fun is, after I have been given this exposure, my ego got completely crushed. Because before that, I used to think, Dr. Sekar, no, you're an idiot, no matter what degrees you get. Okay. You are not rich, because he has diamond planets. If you guys don't know, check it out. There are planets made up of full diamond. Okay. His treasure is beyond belief, right? I can never even match his capacity. Number three, I'm always in his body, and I know I can be a mosquito to get his attention, right? All I need to do is make a huge cry at him, surrender at him, tell him you're useless, you can't do this job. He'll say like, okay, you're my child who can't do anything, let me come and help you. All my prayers get answered, no matter how small it is. One of the prayer that you're going to laugh at it. I was talking to my sister. We were traveling in India from one place to another, Madras to Bangalore. I was going in a super fast train called Shatabdi. As we were going in the train, I got into the train. Now I become a big dada, because I don't do anything. The big fellow is always there. Why do I have to worry? All I need to do is become a mosquito, get your answers, get your ends met. Why worry? We got into the train. My sister was living in Bangalore cantonment. It was a suburban of Bangalore. The train doesn't stop there. The train stops only in the Bangalore city. So we had to wait for the train to go to Bangalore and take a cab and come back and all that. Whereas if I had gotten down at Bangalore cantonment, her house is stone throw, we could even walk it. As soon as I heard all this, I said, hey, don't worry, I'm coming with you. The train will stop in Bangalore cantonment. She looked at me, this guy is an idiot. He's making a statement that he cannot even vouch for. I said, I just put in a prayer, sat with her, ate my breakfast, completely talking to her, no worries, nothing, because I know the final destination is Bangalore. I don't have to even look at the stations that were passing by. The topics were very interesting. She was also absorbed. She looked out. Hey, this is Bangalore cantonment. The train is stopping here. There is no scheduled stop here. I said, like, there you go. Let's get out. I got up. This is one of a sample of experiment. Since I'm an scientist, everything in my life is an experiment nowadays. I think I want a particular dish. I put in a prayer. I know I'm not going to get it. If I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to worry about it. I come completely worry-free, come home. My wife calls me and tells me, I made a dish. Do you want to try it? And I look at it. That is a dish that I had asked for. How blessed am I? So the lesson or the vision that you guys need to have is to surrender yourself. Think, toss all your capacities outside the window. Whatever is the biggest strength that you think you have, no, there is no measure to the big guy. He has all the strength. He can create tsunamis. He can create stars. He will make you a superstar, right? If he wants to make Paul a superstar, it takes him a fraction of a second. He can make him a superstar. He makes stars from nothing, right? Whereas we are something. I'm a mosquito, at least I can claim I'm a mosquito, right? So a mosquito can be made anything great. It is in his own power. So all you need to do is surrender, toss all your egos. Don't compare yourself, because all you're doing is comparing one mosquito to another mosquito. What good does that do? Oh, I'm a big sucker than you are. Yeah, you are. So what? Toss all the concepts outside the window, then feel that you're helpless, but you want your dreams or your desires to be met, but the desires have to be legitimate. It cannot be somebody else's wife. It cannot be somebody else's wealth. It cannot be somebody else. I am going to screw this guy and rob him. No, no, no. That is not allowed in the law. Whatever is legitimate, whatever you can ask for your heart's content, and Paul can declare, I want to be a trillionaire. Nothing wrong. Because he has the wealth of you don't even have a measure to say. We don't have zeros to say. He can make you a trillionaire. But is that what you want? That's up to you. So if you want that, you declare and say, this is what I want, it will happen. How it is going to happen is not your worry, it's not my worry. Because the big guy, when you sit in his body, he can put a necklace around you. If you're a cell in his throat, let's say, he can put a diamond necklace around you. He can put a mala, rose garland around your neck. He can do whatever he wants. Anything can be delivered. Amazon delivery, Prime delivery, no, you don't have to even pay any fee. It'll be delivered to your home without even worrying about it. And without even ordering, do I need to order this? Will the address get misplaced? No. No misplacing of address, no worry, no anxiety, just a declaration. But what happens is, sometimes in our scale, there is a delay in time. There can be delay instantaneous. The instantaneous and the delay depends on how powerful your wish is, how legitimate your wish is, and when you want that to happen, is there a greater purpose in terms of getting that goal met? If there is a greater goal, hey, it's given instantaneously. If it is not a greater goal, you will have to wait. Because take a number, you will be served. So that's the way. And you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, the big fellow doesn't know what exactly to give. Because he has everything. When somebody has everything, you always have a confusion, what gift can I give it to you? Let's say Paul has got everything in his life. Now, if I have to give Paul a gift, I will have to really, really struggle. What gift can I give it to you? Anything that I will have to think, is a wine bottle good enough? Is a diamond necklace good enough? Is $1 million good enough? Is $1 billion good enough? Is my daughter good enough? Who knows? Right? Very similar, very similar. So you have to ask, this is exactly what I want. I want for this purpose. This is legitimate. I have been asking this for many prayers. Give it to me. Then he can become a Santa Claus and give you a toy. See, the concept is there irrespective of what religion you belong to. Because the big guy is only one, right? The big guy, as he had shown me, is only one. He is a humongous body, phenomenal wealth, phenomenal capacity. Anything can be done instantaneously. Then where is the religion here? Where is the divisions here? Where is the limitations here? These are all man-made because of our own ignorances. We tend to think God has to fit in this model. No, he doesn't fit in any model that you know of. Because he is universal, he is humongous. So you cannot fit him into a box, thinking that God has to be fit into this particular model. And this is the only thing that he would serve you. I am a vegetarian. I am a non-vegetarian. No distinctions there. Everything is possible. This is the exposure that I got. And that particular dream vision, or the actual vision that I had, I experienced it 3 days consecutively, because I thought, okay, this might be a fluke. Maybe I had that imagination. Maybe the answers came from myself. Let me try it again today night. You know me, I'm an idiot. I keep telling you that. And nothing is proven beyond doubt for me. I had to be proven beyond doubt. Is it reproducible? Because I'm a scientist. I tried it that particular night, the second night. Same. I went up, but the big guy wasn't there. He probably thought, I don't want to answer to this idiot again and again. I've done once. One is good enough. If we cannot figure it out, let him suffer. He has one more life. That is the promise I made. I will do that. I cannot answer this frivolous questions again and again. He can have all the questions he wants. Let him come and see. I went up one more time the second night. I did that third night. I had the same vision. Now I don't go there anymore, because what is the point? I have seen that again and again. I have learned the lesson. Now I try to use that lesson in this life, and I try to practice. I try to tell people, hey, if you want anything to be done, be good, number one. Don't be jealous of others. Do the good things that you can possibly do. Don't have the ego. Be in smile always. Build that internal rocket fuel. The internal rocket fuel is what you need to escape from this earth to get the vision that I got. What was the rocket fuel? I did that breathing. And I had that quest in terms of the knowledge. I had asked the question 30 years. So the hydrazine in rocket fuel is what humanly possible. I had stored it. And that is where I had the spinal cord current flow that lifted me out of my consciousness and took me to the space and gave me all the answers. If I can get it, anybody can get it. I'm not perfect. I have had all the life's normal living and normal thrills that everybody seeks. I have done that as well. So I'm not special, but I had all the questions. I had this particular multiple experiences, and my questions continue to remain. And that is where the vision was given. Now I use it to practice, to win small things. And every time I win, I apologize to him. Sorry, I made you do this, but I'm glad that you're hearing my stories, hearing my prayers. It's one-sided, and that's the beauty that I wanted to share with you guys. So I think I have come 45 minutes into the discussion. If you have questions, we can ask. You can ask. We can share. Or if you want me to proceed further in terms of day-to-day how I use it, I am open to that particular thing as well. I can explain in terms of who all I've helped, what all I've helped in this type of thought process, and where they have benefited, those type of things, I'm willing to answer. So I give you the choice, you decide, let's proceed with that, or you can ask questions. Either way, I'm okay.
Yeah, I think, thank you for excellent background and profile. I think everybody is welcome to ask any question they may have, and see where we can go. I think one of the things is, one can ask whatever one wishes, but then there is always that capacity of how much of trust and faith does one need to have to receive or not receive? How do you adjust that part of it?
Right now, what happened is I have only faith. I have been given this vision. I have been given this thought process, and I have been answered in terms of my questions. Even though the voice was angry, I know there is somebody who is listening to me. That itself is a huge boon. When you sit in a room, you don't have anybody around you. You are in an isolation. You say certain things and you get an answer for it. Don't you think that's shell-shocking? Who can answer that? I mean, I cannot answer what you have in terms of your thought process, except the big guy, right? That is the place where I am in terms of life. People tell me, you're a scientist, do you believe in all this? I'm like, no, I've been given a vision, I've been given this experience. I don't think of myself as a scientist anymore. I've been shocked with this experience. The only benefit nowadays is that I try to experiment with my life. I
Yeah,
try
so,
to experiment. Small things I try to experiment. And when they come true, I put in a prayer, look up and say, thank you. You made even the smallest guy, you have listened to me, and you have sanctioned whatever little that I asked for, the exact way I asked for. What more can I ask for? No.
Excellent. So how much is the factor of having trust and faith, knowing that it will get delivered? How does that play the role?
Okay. The trust, when you have faith, the trust comes in. Okay. They are not separate, if I can say so. But only thing is in terms of patience. Do you have the patience in terms of holding on, thinking that you have asked for it? The Amazon Prime guy hasn't delivered it yet. So
Yeah.
you have placed an order, the truckers have gone in strike. What can you do?
That's right.
But still it gets delivered though. That's the beauty of it. It
Gotcha.
still gets delivered. At
Excellent.
least, nowadays I say, give me a road sign. Give me a pointer that this is coming. And that is the beauty of it. There was one particular boss, this was a personal story. I moved from one company to another company thinking that this is closer to my home. As soon as I came to this particular company, the boss calls me and tells me, hey, Sekar, you have a PhD and I don't have a PhD. Look at where all things can come and bother you. This guy calls me and tells me you have a PhD and I don't have a PhD. That means you are more capable than I am, which are all assumptions. I have to literally toss them out. But I cannot say anything. He was my boss. He tells me, that means you are more capable than me. I will give you one particular task that you need to do it in 5 days. I told him, absolutely possible. The task can be done, but the 5-day path is where the problem is. Because this is a validated environment. Any change that I do, you have to get 15 people agree to it and then create a ticket and do a change. And anything that you do, you have to wait. There is nothing that you can do because the ball is in somebody else's court. Until the ball gets delivered to you, you cannot do it. He says, no, I don't believe in all this. You have a PhD, so if you have to talk to people, get this done. Or else. This is what he told me. I was a consultant, so he told me, or else. What does it mean? I will get fired, right? I came home totally dejected, totally disappointed, because I could go back to the previous job, but my stock value will go down. Anytime when you leave a particular job and you go to someplace else, you don't want to go back to the original job, because the very moment you go back, your stock value has already gone down. For some reason, people will look down on you. I told the big guy, I don't want to go back. You are the big fellow, right? The mosquito tells the big fellow, I will give you 2 choices. One, either move me out of the path and give me an equivalent job right now, right away, somehow, or move that impediment out of my pathway. Take that big guy, the manager, out of my pathway. I don't know any other way to do it. Monday morning, this was a prayer that I do it on Sunday. I tell him, Monday morning, I will be going into office at 9 o'clock. You need to show me the indication that you are working on it. Look at it. The mosquito telling the big fellow, you need to show me signs for it. Monday morning, I go there, 9 o'clock. I take my computer, go into the manager's office, tell him, hey, guy, you wanted me to do this job. I'm starting the first task of this job. You know what his response was? No. You're not doing it, Sekar. Come sit next to me. Teach me how to do it. I was looking totally shocked. What the heck is going on here? You told me or else on Friday evening, Monday morning, this. I didn't know what was going on. Then I worked with him. He was feeding me. Do you want coffee? Do you want tea? Do you want kachori? Do you want son papdi? I was looking at it like something strange. Has he gone cuckoo over the weekend? I did a prayer for something else. This guy has turned out to be a complete cuckoo on Monday morning. This is not the prayer that I did. What the heck is going on here? He says, oh, every task is taking time. I said, like, welcome to my world. This is what you told me, or else. Now see it, every task has an inherent time taken for it. Even if you put your clothes for washing, you're going to wait for 30 minutes. Otherwise, it won't get done, right? If you take it in between, it won't be getting done. He went through that process. By lunchtime, he says, let's break. I said, like, okay, a relief. I didn't want to sit next to him because the Friday I thought was still in my mind. I came out for lunch. I asked my colleagues, what the heck is going on? When did this guy turn into a cuckoo? This was a thought process. Oh, they said, you don't know? I said, like, no, I don't know what happened. Tell me. This morning, 8 o'clock, there was a management change. He has been demoted, and they told him, if you don't learn the task, or else.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Sekar, I think because of we have about limited time, we can continue past 12:11. But Palji, I think, do you have anybody else have any questions? Please feel free to ask Sekar, and get the most value we can from him. Arpan, Charanjit ji.
Yeah, Dr. Sekar, I'm really very, very impressed by the amount of coincidences in your life.
Right.
It's very fascinating to have listened to you.
Thank
One
you.
question that comes to my mind is that your out-of-body experiences that you have had,
Right.
and the deep breaths that you take before you actually get out of your body, do you recite anything, or is it just a
No.
breath only?
No, just breath. But the thing was, I have taken more than my capacity of air in my lungs. You know what I mean? The deep breath in terms of extra deep in terms of taking the breath in. That's all I did.
Yeah, because actually I've read about these things. It reminds me of similar experiences with Kundalini Yoga.
Yep.
Would you say associate this something with similar?
Yes. The Kundalini Yoga is something that probably happened that particular time. That is what I attribute this also. The twitching or the sensation came in my scrotum. I think I can use the word here. It's a medical term in terms of human anatomy. I, being a man, there was a twitching sensation in my scrotum, and there was a current flow in my spine that I felt. After that, I didn't know where I was floating. But this breath did not happen right away. I had to take 3 or 4 breaths, if I remember right. Not more than that. 3 or 4 breaths into it, I had that twitching sensation. There was a current in my spinal cord, and I was lifted out. So yes, this is probably to do with Kundalini. I could reproduce it the next 2 days as well. And I have not tried it since then, because the vision remains very vivid in my mind. I didn't want to go back again.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience. It's really, really very fascinating to listen to you.
Yeah, thank you. That is the main reason, I am not a big guy, but I want to be open. I want to be absolutely honest in terms of my experiences. So if somebody can take it and use it and enjoy the pleasure, it is beyond belief.
Thank you.
Charanjit ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sekar. It is amazing, almost an hour spent in these conversations. It's interesting. It was probably meant to be here today, as you have been explaining as well, because this is the first time Paulji has sent a WhatsApp message also. I might have missed it for sure, but then thanks to Paulji, I was meant to be here. So it's great. Yes, of course, Paulji. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, Dr.
Thank the
Shekhar.
big guy sitting inside each one of us.
Hey, Paul is the one who brought me in, so I've got to thank him.
I did. I don't think any feel like that, man. The big guy who's doing everything for everybody.
So as a channel connector to that big guy, I was wondering while listening to you that if possible,
Right.
all these instances or incidents or stories you have so wonderfully communicated to us could be documented in a database type format. You are and why I'm saying is because many people might have, let's say, you are full of blessing. Some people might like to add up some portions from their instances, which may not be to that profound occurrences, to that many frequencies. But for sure, this is a very, very blissful. I think I wrote also, it was blissful sharing, and thank you so much for that. But for those who are little less fortunate, if we could just I know it's a scientifically in his domain, it's a paradox which I'm asking, but he's benevolent, So
Yeah, my daughter has been telling me that I should write a book. The reason being, there were few instances that my daughter had experienced it in terms of me giving her a thought process and making her do things. For one simple thing was, she was in the elementary school. She came down one day crying to me, "Daddy, I don't win any prizes in raffles and all that at school." I told her, "Don't worry about it. Next time when you have one, do this. When you have all the raffle tickets, take how many ever you want, whatever price that you want, go and put it in that particular box and say a prayer. The prayer should be to the big fellow, say that whoever is deserving should get it. You look at the price and you come and tell me what the price was. But then you also say to the big fellow, God, I have put all my faith in you in one particular box. If I am the one who is deserving, I should get it. If anybody else better deserving than me, they should get it." So say that prayer and come back and tell me what the price that you had put it in. So she keeps doing that. She did that the first time. Let me finish that. She did that first time. She came home. She told me, "Daddy, there was an iPod in the school. I wanted that. I put all the 5 tickets in there. And I said, if some kid who's deserving, maybe because their mom and dad cannot buy that price for them, so they are the guys who are deserving." That is the way I interpreted to the kid. She said, "Yeah, daddy can buy that for you in the market, not a problem. But if some kid who has a dad who or a mom cannot afford it, they should win it." She said, "Yeah, that is very fair, daddy. That's what I did as a prayer." And I came home. Next day, she won that prize. Again and again, she uses that and she keeps winning prizes after prizes after prizes. So she tells me, "You teach me these things. You should write a book, Daddy." I said, "Okay, my English is not that great." She says, "Don't worry about it. I'm born here. I brought up here. I will edit your book."
But I would suggest instead of having a book, create a database where everybody could contribute, and it will be a service to the humanity, because most of us are losing faith in the big fellow. Most of us are trying to be not mosquitoes, like as you rightly said. Most we are most quiet, but not mosquito. So yeah, so we are quiet about him, and I think that will trigger some more faith through that evidence base, and it's doable, like he's so blissful, he's so benevolent, and you're so fortunate, and I'm so fortunate having your company today. It's great. Thank you so much again, doctor.
Thank you, Charanjit. Appreciate your kind words.
I think the big part is because the trust and faith sometimes is the one that lacks in us. So we request God, give us the capacity to have more trust and faith in you,
Right.
so that we can be completely at ease.
Right.
because it's my weakness. And if I don't have it, give me the capacity, give us the capacity to have trust and faith. Because we cannot buy it. We cannot just, it's your gift. You have to give it to us. How can I, say this will happen or not? I have no capacity to make something happen or not. It's only your wish, I'm a beggar to you and you know who I am. So what is it to say? And sometimes I say, what do I even have to ask for? You know what we all need. So, just do your magic, whatever needs to be done. Arpan Bhai, Arpan is in New York. Let me bug him before.
As Paul said, thank you so much for inviting me today. I thank you, Dr. Shekhar. That was wonderful, wonderful sharing. And I actually had a question for you.
Sure.
So when you had this experience and you were in the interstellar, did you feel anything? Hot, cold, windy? Were you
No,
afraid?
it was just it was not the body, it was just the feeling. And again, physically I was not there, but absolutely convinced that I was conscious and I was floating there. But in terms of physical temperature and the sensations, I was not aware of anything.
Okay, so just consciousness being there, physical
Right.
or being present is what you felt.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
And the voice was there all along. So he was directing me as to what I should be doing. And he was, what should I say? He wasn't very pleasing or anything. He was very impatient and very forceful, like a teacher who is upset with a student who is not learning the lessons in life. And that kind of a mentality was there. That is a sensation I had in terms of the conversation that was going back and forth.
Thank you so much for that. It was very very interesting story to share with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Adejji, any question from you or anybody else in the Sangat?
No, I don't have any, Nikhil, but it's an interesting talk and interesting to learn something new. You do think about this thing, and I've read about that. If you can't sleep, you have to Nikhil, concentrate on your breathing. And once you concentrate and you will go into sleep, you will fall asleep. And that you have proved it today. And when Nikhil trying this thing, once in a while it happens in the middle of the night, you wake up and so you have to do a deep breathing. And once you start doing the deep breathing, you will fall asleep. And that's a guaranteed.
Yes. Deep breathing in the sense you take lung full of air, but the breathing out has to be really slow.
Okay.
When you do that, 2 or 3 cycles of it, you wouldn't know where you are. You'll be knocked off.
No. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Prithpalji?
Yeah, just a question comes to my mind. If you want to actually progress on this connection with the big fellow up there,
Right.
what would you suggest would be the way to actually establish a connection?
Okay, the connection is let go of your ego, number 1. And don't be judgmental. The very moment you look at somebody, you tend to like or dislike. Toss that thought process away. Number 3, always believe he is listening to you. Because that is number 1 thing in terms of establishing the connection. Because the big guy connects with you when you are really desperate and you're really down and you really want him to do the connection. That like and the drive has to come from you. This is what my experience is. Whenever I feel I'm not, you don't need to be down. Even if you're happy, you want to share it with him, you can just say a prayer and say like, show me some sign. The signs will be shown to you. That will increase your faith in terms of, yes, he is at least listening. He is giving me the road signs that I asked for. As you do that again and again, you will be connected or already connected. Only thing is you don't realize it. Let me put it that way. You're always connected. When you are in his body, how can you not be connected? But only thing is you don't realize it from your standpoint. And that is where you have to ask the questions in terms of how do I get to know the road signs? Am I seeing the things that I want to see? Those type of things you have got to ask. But in terms of personality change, let your ego go. Be happy all the time. Just smile for no reason. And when you look at anybody in need or help them in whatever way you can. These are things that are very dear to him, will connect you in no time.
Thank
Does
you.
that help?
Thank you. I'll just take a few pointers. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I think you're right, Sekar. One of the gentlemen in India, his name is Mangal Dhillon. And when people have, the creator also came in connection with him and kind of helping him put the journey for other people. And when people have no other place to go, everything is all closed. That's the last destination. He said that's when they kind of come to him. He only connects them through Nam, through his remembrance, to the creator's remembrance, no matter what you call him, Allah, God, Ram.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
I
matter.
told you, the big fellow, you can call him any name that you want to call him.
To him. But either the point is that you continuously focus and stay connected to him for a period of time. He said you do it for 30, 60, 90 days. 90 days is way too much, but he said the people, when doctors that told them you got a few days left, good luck. All of a sudden, from being completely gone from the earth, these people were completely recovered. Everything, emotional challenges, mental challenges, physical challenges, disease, AIDS, virus, cancer, heart disease, these are all of them, different patients, they completely healed. And it says, doctors can't believe how, that's the biggest miracle, So it's the connectivity to him and having trust and faith, and if you don't have enough, tell him, hey, God, I don't have enough faith in you. I need your help, and come on. I cannot fool you. If I don't have it, I don't have it. It's your gift. I'm a beggar to you. Give me more and more. Okay.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong.
Because how can I lie to him when he and me are the same, right?
Yep.
It's like lying to myself. Okay. So he knows if I have it, if I don't. If I don't have it, I'm asking, hey, I need some more of it. Okay. Please have mercy on everybody. Bless everybody in the whole universe. Okay.
Yeah, this is the reason I share it, because if even few people enjoy what I have enjoyed, why not? Why not? Because that is a bliss or happiness that there is no way I can give it to you. You have to experience it yourself. And all I'm doing is I'm a road sign in terms of pointing you, try this. This is what worked for me. If you try that, it'll work. There might be some other technique that you have. I'm willing to listen to it. If you have one, sure, give it to me. I will try that as well.
But Shekhar, the important thing is that when you have had real life experience, for us as audience, all of us, to read scriptures and understand is one thing, but for God to send people like you who have had first-hand experience, it gives us more trust and faith. That's very, very valuable, very important. Sorry.
Here is another thing that I do. I have not disclosed to you. I constantly chant a mantra. I constantly chant a mantra of my own liking in terms of my God. So what it does is, basically a mantra is a sound, right? Let's say Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya is one sound. The next sound is Namah Shivaya. Next sound is Namah Shivaya. When you do that, between one Namah Shivaya and another Namah Shivaya, there is a gap. I cannot say Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. I have to say Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. There is a gap. But as you continue to chant this, what happens is you have a second thought process in your mind that constantly goes in terms of saying that mantra again and again and again and again. I don't care whether I have taken a shower, whether I'm in the bath, whether I'm in the washroom, whether I'm with somebody, whether I'm not with somebody, I constantly chant. Now, what does that do? It increases the gap between one mantra and another mantra. When does that happen? when I forget to chant. I was chanting, somehow I forgot. Why did I forget? Let me pull that mantra again and I'll chant it. This will happen to everybody who has a mantra or who has a famous saying that they want to chant. When you do that, your mind becomes completely calm and quiet and composed and unison in terms of no frequency there. And that is the frequency God has. You are connected directly with his frequency in that particular moment. And that is one reason why I attribute things that I think come true immediately, because the big fellow knows here is the mosquito that's biting me. I come back to mosquito because I'm so small. I make huge cry, and the big fellow has to respond because I'm biting him. So this is something that you can try when somebody wants to link with the big guy. Take a chanting, constantly do it. Don't question. You know, it is authenticity in terms of establishment. People have done it before. So just have the belief in it that that word is being sacred. Doesn't matter what it is. Continue to chant it. What it does is it gives you the frequency to link with the big guy in a tantric way.
You're completely right. I think that's the same thing other guy mentioned also, or Dylan. He said that mantra, Ram, Nam, constantly keep doing that, keep listening to it, and sooner or later he knows that you are begging, requesting, and the connection, boom, 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 boom. He is going to open his door. He will listen to you, your pains and issues, and he will resolve them.
Right.
He's not going to let you down. Simple.
No.
But that capacity to keep constantly doing it. He says that I go to the poor villages where people have a lot of burden, financial issues, family issues. You only tell them, and the guy have no idea to say Waheguru or Ram. He says whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. Just take that name, keep repeating it. Forget about doing it in any different ways, shapes, and forms. Just keep doing it. And he says amazing results coming.
Of course.
I
came to America. A Chinese postdoc came to pick me, Chinese student and his wife came to pick me up. He was my colleague in the lab. He was the one who picked me up from the airport. I didn't even have my bag because my bag got stuck in the plane. So I had only my carry-on baggage. First time I came into the country, he asked me, where do you want to have dinner? I looked at him and said, like, if you can take me to a Chinese restaurant, I would love it. He took me to a Chinese restaurant, and the fortune cookie that came, I opened it. You know what the word that came in, the sentence that came in? Your luck has completely changed from today.
Wow. Okay. Incredible.
Your luck has completely changed from today. You know how I would have felt.
Incredible. Yeah, we in our own small mind are stuck with our own previous deeds and previous thinking and previous behaviors, which kind of keeps to getting to the light. Our darkness around us, the soul, for many lifetimes, is the one that's preventing us to connect to him. Nothing more than that.
Right.
And that can only be cleaned by his name, his remembrance, his thoughts, like you said. Constantly keep doing it, and he knows.
Yeah, don't question it. Continue to do it. That will open up your thought process. You will be able to link, and you will be able to receive things. You know how I have said, these are, I gave him all the alphabetical curse words. Now, can I even do that? I won't even dare do that now.
He
I was an idiot.
He proved himself to you. I'm right there. What do you want? Come on, Sekar. Ask me whatever you want. Okay. But if you had a wish, 1 or 10, what should that wish be? What should we all ask each individually as human beings? What is it that would be meaningful?
Okay. Number 1, in terms of having a good health.
Okay.
Number 2, in terms of having decent wealth. So if you want to give to somebody, you should be able to do it. And number 3, when you do that, are you happy? The happiness, that is priceless. Nobody can give you the happiness. It has to come from within. It has to come from within. Imagine that you see somebody in dire need, you want to help, and you help, And the guy turns back and says, thank you. Because of you, I have come out of this. What more can you do? What more can you do? How much of education you have, how much of knowledge you have, how much of Rolls Royce you have, they are useless. They're all useless when somebody turns back and tells you, Paul, thank you. Because of you, who I am today, I don't have pain and suffering. I have decent livelihood. I am happy. No, nothing can match that. That is my opinion.
Agreed. You know.
And the biggest thing is you have to have a faith. That's the main thing.
Yep. That is why, in terms of faith, to faith badane ke liye, like you've got to ask, give me the road signs. When you are traveling from Delhi to Agra or Delhi to Chennai, you say, is it Agra that is coming next? Is it Bhopal that is coming next? If not, you're in the wrong road, buddy. You're taking me to the wrong road. And don't ever do that to me. And I will make all the hue and cry, and I'll make your life miserable. You can challenge the big guy, I'm telling you. You can challenge him and tell him, he is your father. He is your mother. He is your friend. He is everybody to you. If you can talk to your dad, hey, dad, don't give me the bull. I need college tuition. You need to give me the money. Cough up the money. Same thing. You can talk to him. You can tell him, hey, I am a good person. My requirements are legitimate. I'm not asking for somebody else's wife. I'm not asking for somebody else's wealth. I'm not asking for all the illegitimate things in the world. I'm not corrupt. I'm doing all the things that are legitimate, legal, in terms of spiritual laws. Now, show me the way. If you don't show me the way, it is not my problem, it is your problem. You have taken a good soul and you have crushed it. That is the big fellow's problem. This is a challenge I do. I tell him, don't do this to me. You can't do this to me. I am a good guy. I'm asking for reasonable things. And if I do, to tell you honestly, at work, I don't ask for any raise. It comes automatically. I don't ask for bonus. It comes automatically. They call me and tell me, you have done such a good job, I'm going to give you a bonus. I don't ask for it. And at times, I'm the only guy who gets a bonus. I can't even say it to anybody. I'm telling you guys because you are spiritual seekers and you would understand where the heck am I coming from. There is no jealousy there.
Yeah, I think so. It's about time, Nikki. We have gone over time, and it'll be very interesting listening to you and your experience, and hope we will benefit from this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sekar, thank you from the bottom of our heart, from all
Hey,
of
Paul,
us.
thank you for getting to.
Thank God. The big guy, hey, God, please have mercy on every soul. Have our connection become more stronger to you. Give us the faith that we all lack quite often, at least I do. And make that connection and give us, make our dreams come true and connect us to yourself truly, wherever we're supposed to connect, and make the journey of life healthy, happy, peaceful, and blissful, so that it could be full of harmony, love, and kindness. Every soul that we touch, may there be nothing but kindness and love flowing out to the brim. We are only beggars to you, God. You know what we are requesting. So if, like Sekar says, you're listening, you're listening. So what can I say? It's your job to make things happen. Anybody else, please, make your comments or statements. They say, wherever God is remembered, there's God present himself. It's one of the lines of Sukhmani Sahib Ji. So, you made the point very clear today to all of us.
Thank you.
Very well said, Paul. Thank you, Dr. Sekar. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity and nice meeting you, and looking forward to meeting again, because I do have some other stories to share.
We'll continue the journey. We'll do again. We got some work to make today.
So some of the amazing stories, and I have no answers, but I have only questions. I will throw the questions at you and you might have the answers for me.
Take it. All good. Ardeji.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sat Sri Akal.